communicated a 5-point plan to the shareholders to restore our shareholder equity. And I'll go through the progress that we've made on them. We're very pleased to say that we've successfully executed on that 5-point plan in totality, with a lot of thanks to the management team and all the staff of MTN Nigeria who have been very ably guided by the board of directors. We kept our capital expenditure down. One of the commitments was to reduce our capex, so we actually reduced it marginally between 2023 and 2024 in spite of the drastic devaluation of the naira. Our expense efficiency program delivered 40 billion naira of savings versus an initially intended planned 17 billion naira of savings. We successfully renegotiated our IHS contract, which was one of the major drivers of provisions made for the forex devaluation, and we now have a contract which offers us a much better extent of stability to the volatility of the market. We reduced our foreign exchange obligations on trade lines from $416 million to $21 million. That's effectively almost completely eliminating our foreign exchange exposure on trade lines. And of course, as I'm sure you have been well informed in the news, we were successful in securing approval from the regulatory authorities for a 50% tariff increase, approval of which was given in January, and we started the execution in February all the way into April. We also had an additional upside with the closure of the USSD debt with the banking industry, which boosted our results in the financial year 2024. So we're very pleased that we delivered on everything that we committed to the shareholders. To dear Barrister Mrs. Shinobola Adetutu, I will address some of the questions which you highlighted. First of all, thank you for the kind words of support and encouragement. We are committed to gender balance, but it's a process, and that includes the board. So as term limits expire, we'll be looking towards achieving this. But of course, the first priority always remains the skills and competence of the directors, of which we are confident that we can secure. There are more than enough resources in the country and across the world, female resources, to address that gender balance. Thank you for the comments on attendance of board meetings. It's a large board. It's sometimes challenging to get everybody's schedule to work at the same time. So occasionally we have some absences, but by and large we have very, very, very good attendance. I think on the issues around the financials, I've addressed that through the 5-point plan, which I gave an update on. On the item around directors having shares attached to their names, your observation is well noted. Under the law, it's not mandatory for company directors to hold shares in the company. Directors are appointed primarily based on their experience and competence to add value to the organization. So that is the basis on which we appoint our directors. It's disclosed on page 131 of the annual report that none of the directors currently holds any indirect interest in the company. There's a question that you raised around the substantial interest in shares, around two major shareholders with the minority shareholders in our company under the year review. We note your observation. The board composition, once again, is focused on maintaining the balance of skills and experience and diversity to support our strategic directives. And that will continue to be the focus going forward. The next question is around trade and receivables under current assets, going up from 215 billion to 368 odd billion naira. Management has implemented various recovery initiatives. With this question and with the question around on the questions around trade and payables under current liabilities, it's primarily driven by the 69% devaluation of the currency, and that affected our foreign exchange denominated liabilities. We still have, aside from trade loans, certain foreign exchange loans. The improvement in the market forex liquidity, along with the enhanced cash flow from our operations, are expected to support the timely settlement of trade payables going forward. We don't see the increase under receivables and liabilities to be a major issue to the company. This is in line with the change in our business and operating environment, and we have strategies to secure any exposures that we have in that area. To Mr. Boniface Okozie, thank you once again for your kind words of resilience. We understand the desire for shareholders to have a dividend, and we're all aligned with that. MTN Group, the majority shareholder of MTN Nigeria, also hasn't received dividends, so it's a focus area for the entire organization to restore our shareholder capital and our distributable reserves so we can return to declaration of dividends in the shortest time possible.